You know what is funny? Everybody says, think for yourself. And the moment you think differently than them, they get very uncomfortable. They say, no, not like that. Listen to authority. Okay, which authority? The government authority, the media authority, the doctor authority, the scientist authority, the influencer authority, the podcaster authority, the I did my own research authority, the trust the science authority, the question everything authority. Even Emerson, the guy famous for saying think for yourself, has become another authority people quote. Emerson said this, Emerson said that. And I want to say, wait a second. Did Emerson not just tell us not to blindly listen to Emerson? That is the funny contradiction. And this is where it gets interesting. Because almost everybody thinks they are an independent thinker. Very few people actually are. Most people are just borrowing the opinions of the group they identify with. Different uniform, same behavior. One side says, trust the expert. The other side says, question everything. But then if you question their side, suddenly they become the experts. That is why Emerson said, a foolish consistency is the hobgoblin of little minds. He was not saying, believe random things. He was saying, be willing to think, be willing to change, be willing to admit, I used to believe this, now I believe something different. Because the real prison is not being wrong. The real prison is needing to stay loyal to an opinion just because your tribe expects it. And this is where I think people get trapped. Some people become trapped by mainstream thinking. Some people become trapped by conspiracy thinking. But both can become the exact same thing, a prison uniform. One says, only crazy people question this. The other side says, only sheep believe this. Different costume, different emotional game. Because once your identity gets attached to a belief, you stop looking for truth. You start protecting the identity. And that is dangerous. You are no longer thinking. You are defending. You are no longer exploring. You are performing. And social media makes it even worse because now everybody has an audience. Everybody has a tribe. Everybody gets rewarded for certainty. Nobody gets rewarded for saying, you know what? I might be wrong, but honestly, that may be the strongest thing a person can say. I was wrong. I learned something. I changed my mind. That is not weakness. That is not hypocrisy. That is growth. The problem is we have trained ourselves to think that certainty equals intelligence. It does not. Certainty often means you stopped asking questions. Real intelligence is the ability to hold an idea without worshiping it, to test it, to examine it, to keep what is true and let go of what is not. The older I get, the less I trust crowds. The less I trust the people screaming, everyone else is wrong. Because usually the loudest people are not the wisest people. Usually the wisest people are calm, curious, careful, and willing to say, I do not know. That is real self-reliance. Not blindly following the mainstream, not blindly following the conspiracy, not blindly following the person who says they alone know the truth, but being willing to think, to observe, to stay humble, to keep asking, to refuse to wear the prison uniform. Even if everybody around you is handing one out. So yes, think for yourself, but also think carefully. Because being a nonconformist is easy. Everybody wants to feel special. What is hard is staying honest. What is hard is changing your mind when the evidence changes. What is hard is telling the truth, even when your own side does not like it. That is self-reliance. That is freedom. And maybe the wisest thing you can ever say is this: I do not belong to a side. I belong to the truth, wherever it leads. Believe me, listen to me. I know. Go in love and peace with wisdom and understanding. Enjoy this day. And you know that you don't know everything.